talking tough on immigration raises the salience of immigration. Whether it helps Labour, I'm not so sure. Because, as far as I can see, if we go into the next election with immigration being the top issue, there's only one person that helps, and that's Nigel Farage.
Right. So, almost trying to tackle immigration as a policy is helping Farage in some sort of sense.
Well, I think so. And I think actually some of the concern, maybe not all the concern, there's different concerns about immigration. They all get bundled together. A lot of people are concerned about small boats. That's very different to the question of how many people are getting visas to come and work here. But it all gets bundled together in a lot of lazy public debate that doesn't sort of separate out these various strands. Now, what you can do about small boats is very different to what you can do about visas. What you were saying earlier about economic growth, you're quite right, is all the evidence is, if the OBR thinks we're going to see a significant fall in immigration, it will revise its growth forecast downwards. Okay. That creates problems for the Chancellor in terms of fiscal headroom. Now, there is a debate that is raging about whether or not per capita GDP goes up or down as a result of immigration, whether or not we are sufficiently taking immigration, the impact of immigrants over their full lifetime, because of course at a certain point they too will stop working and rely on the welfare state. And the evidence is complicated on that. There is some slight evidence, I think, that overall immigrants still have a net positive effect. But I think one of the problems is all these different things get mixed up with each other. When you start talking specifics, what's quite interesting is if you say to people, should we reduce immigration? A lot of people say yes. If you say, okay, so would you rather have fewer care workers, fewer international students, fewer professionals? In general, they can't decide who they want to get rid of.
Right. So, and you mentioned small boat crossings there, and you said it's a sort of mixture that's been lazily bundled into one big heading of sort of immigration. I myself have seen a lot of anger online around small boat crossings. Is that a major part of the immigration, or is it smaller than?
I think for people who are concerned about immigration, small boats is a significant part of it. I mean, what I would say is, it is very hard seeing anger online to get a grip about just how widespread it is.
Right. And so small boats crossings, if it doesn't really impact, the economic story, NHS waiting list, because it's such a small number coming across the channel, is the problem then?
It has a significant impact simply because we're not processing people fast enough, which means we're paying a colossal bill to put people in hotels at the moment.
Oh, right. So, and is there anything Labour can do to address?
They've said it already that they're going to speed up the processing. Rachel Reeves, I think I'm right in saying, in the spending review speech, said we're going to stop using hotels to house asylum seekers. Now, I think one of the key ways of doing that is to make sure that you're on top of the processing so that you don't have a massive backlog of people waiting for their claims to be processed.
Right. And if as a core sort of policy point, if Labour is successful in this and reform loses this sort of point of contention among voters, then what would reform have to do?
Well, I personally find it very hard to see how you stop the small boats. The biggest determinant at the moment seems to be not government policy, but weather. So we have good weather over summer, the numbers will go up and we'll get more people coming. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you look at the world we're in at the moment, you look at what's happening in Iran. You're getting a load of refugees coming out of northern Iran going into Turkey. Where are they going to end up? They're going to end up in Europe, a lot of them, or they're going to try to come to Europe, a lot of them. So given global instability, given climate change, given a whole host of things, the notion that fewer people are going to be fleeing strikes me as fanciful. Then we have the problem about what you do about it. I think, you can do something about the cost by dealing with applications more quickly. Whether you can do anything about those sort of videos of people coming across the channel in dinghies, I'm less certain about.
So should just Labour just let the matter go of trying to convey their messaging on the matter, since, perhaps small boats crossings will not be coming down. Their processing may start increasing, and there may be less cost to it. But I think Farage will still have that sort of fuel.
I think it's very hard for any government to turn around, after having made all these pledges about, all right, Labour haven't said stop the boats. That was soon. They say smash the gangs. It is very hard for a politician to stand up and say, look, I'm not sure we've got the answer to this problem. So I don't think that's necessarily a vote winner. But I think, if Labour were unwise enough to listen to me, I would say that actually you need a narrative that is one that isn't focused around immigration, because on that you're always going to lose.